in the end, it's a split-second victory for Megan, and she is awaiting in the final for the winner of this match, and it is the world finalist of this year and two-time world champion Kirsty Davies, and the person that won the last Women's Pro Series title that gets us underway. Lucy Smith is her opponent. She's looking to get herself back into a Pro Series final. Would be her first one of the year. Simon Webb and Mark Shepherd with you. And Mark, I think there's no doubt on paper the favourite for the match, and still you'd say probably favourite for the tournament is Kirsty Davies here in terms of what she's achieved lately and the fact that what she's achieved in her career as well.
Yeah, and she seems to be right back to some of her best form. Lucy Smith has been there or thereabouts in Pro Series events and the Women's Series before that for quite some time now, but not as yet achieved anything like as much as Kirsty. You do feel that Kirsty has an A game that really does just rival anybody. Maybe doesn't always hit the absolute heights. Perhaps sometimes loses a match where her B game can be overtaken, but such a dangerous single ball potter that you've never really got her in a safe position. Spoke to her in her interview and about the world final. I think that would have really hurt her. She was playing the best pool. I mean, brilliant performance beating Marion Jude in what was the match of the tournament a couple of rounds before, but that match was against Tasneem Solomons was one that she'll look back on and think that she had enough chances to win it, and she probably in her own mind, take nothing away from Tasneem, will feel like she should have won it. Obviously she didn't, and that'll be sore, and on the back of what was a brilliant performance in winning her first Women's Pro Series title to build on the mini-series title she won, I think that will really hurt. Best way to fix that though is obviously just to get back at it and start winning again. She knows she's going to be in for a tough final. Whoever gets through is going to be in for a tough final. Could hardly have had any more drama at the end of the previous semi. Good advert for the women's game, that last match. High quality standard of play from both players. A couple of really good clearances from Megan Proctor in the middle of the match, even though obviously the 6 red is the thing it's going to get remembered for. Well, that's not gone to plan for Lucy. Tricky this, because the other 2 reds at the bottom of the table also not in a good spot. The yellows meanwhile are quite well situated, so once she moves this red out of the way, all the yellows are going to go. Oh, very nearly made it one way or another. Not to be, and that leaves a decent chance now for Kirsty Davies. Nearly. So, good open layout for Kirsty. We've talked up what a good potter she is. Should be able to keep these pots fairly simple. And that's a good first shot. She wanted to get under the first ball to make sure she can get through to the one nearer the pocket. Not very well set as a plant. Didn't really want to get involved in that. If anything, she's just come down a turn too far. I don't know if she can nip this and get back to the middle of the table. And if she can't, then she's playing around with the reds. She could, but she couldn't hold for the one into the right centre pocket. Actually in a slightly tricky spot here when you have a look through the full finish. Doesn't really want to be taking the balls at the top of the table off the table. Certainly won't want to take them both off. I suppose you could leave yellow right centre as a very good connector to the 8 ball, but well, this is a bad angle here. Yeah, I think if you were going to do this, you'd have been better carrying the white further over, trying to leave yourself a bit straight on the one to the left centre. If she can just miss the ball that's in the middle of the table. Wow, oh good lord, how has that happened? I don't think I've ever seen that before. No, I have no idea how that's happened. That's extraordinary. It's a foul because of it. The yellow will go onto the 8 ball spot. Wow.
Oh, what a bizarre moment. Obviously, it was the ball was rattling around in the jaws and just lifted off the bed of the table whilst rattling, and then because it caught another ball sort of on the half volley, that's how it ended up on the floor. That's a bizarre moment to start this match off. And an extremely valuable ball in hand for Lucy Smith, because anything other than ball in hand, this was going to be an almost unmakeable clearance.
She's got to be careful because she's going to be leaving the plant here. Make sure that the red you're playing doesn't spit away from the pocket, because it's sort of half set to spit up the table just a little bit here. I might have been tempted with ball in hand to play up for this plant, leaving the one that she's just played. She controls that really well, though. And this 8-ball to give Lucy Smith I'll give her the first frame. Both players getting their opportunity. Yeah, she was actually really disappointed. She really targeted this year how much the ranking points meant, where she was going to finish. Remaining on the tour was her first goal, which she's essentially secured here, and then it's trying to get yourself up as high as you can and carry the ranking points into next year. She's fully aware of all that, but also downplaying what it all means during the matches.
Yeah, those are all things you think about when you're not at the table. Right now, she's just going to focus on the immediate situation. Chance she wasn't expecting in a very odd fashion in the first frame. Seems like it's destined to be a night of drama, the way the first semi went and then the way this one started.
Cued that nicely, but not the perfect cue ball. It's going to be a little bit tricky here. Could have done a bit more pace into that one. Maybe popped open the red that she's nearest to now.
Come too far again, got stuck back in the middle. So they're going to have to go up the table. Now this is starting to be a bit of a chase. Much like in the last frame when she slipped out of position, Kirsty's yellows are in decent places. There's only one ball tied up. Well, not ideal, but having two balls over that pocket is actually much better than one, because it makes it hard to play any kind of combo or loss of turn. So Kirsty's got one ball tied up in that corner. See what a good potter she is. We keep talking about how tight these pockets are. She just smashed it down the rail.
No doubt they play tighter, but the centre of the pocket's still pretty good. Kirsty hits the centre more often than not. Problem she had in the opening frame was the cue ball. Just got a little bit lost with a pretty open counter. This is not an open visit at all. Yet she's still choosing to be aggressive.
It's always going to be an ask. She was quite straight there to force that angle. She's in a position where she can just about clip the ball in, but she's not going to have great control over what happens next. So like she has committed to going for the attacking option here. I mean, this is her game, isn't it? She does always go for the positive where there's any half chance.
I just think sometimes you want to be that extra step patient and wait. So easy to sit in the commentary box and say that after mistakes are made, chasing finishes. And if they didn't chase the finishes, you wouldn't get the exciting, amazing clearances we always seem to get. This is going to be missing at the right time, I think, here for Kirsty Lee, because that red at the bottom of the table is still in a really awkward position. And Lucy could open it up here. Be a big shot. Oh, it's brilliant. Fantastic shot. Controlled, very, very controlled the way she played it. Didn't try and just fly into it. It was just nudging it open, and just got a delicate little screw back, but you're going to catch the yellow half ball, and essentially you're going to do all the work in without moving too far. Like that.
Great chance to take a 2-0 lead. Currently sitting at number 10 in the Women's Pro Series ranking, so Lucy Smith is a player on the up.
Having missed 2 events as well. It's got a big hole in her ranking points. 2-0 up though. Maybe chased one thinking that she probably wasn't going to get counted, and she was. And what she got for us here in frame 3 now that she has the opportunity. It's a pretty good layout.
As ever, the equation in any match out in an arena like this, you just want to get a frame on the board early on, settle yourself into the situation. Great technique. See, has a lot of cue between bridge hand and ball. You've got to really time it well if you're going to play like that. Just has a rock solid cue action. Great view of the cue action as we see down. Dead straight. Not a bad position this. Can clear this remaining ball at the bottom of the table. A natural linking ball over the middle if she needs it. Or maybe able to get straight back up the table.
Absolutely perfect control. Massively long bridge hand on that one. Choosing to go that way rather than trying to stretch over or needing to use a rest or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a technique that you think you'll try, and then you realise just how difficult it is to get the balance right if you have that much cue out front. It's the kind of thing that only really good cueists can normally make look right.
I think she has quite a long one in normal play as well. It obviously was exaggerated. She is a very good cueist.
Just about straight enough on the one to the left centre, just to hold the cue ball. So all about just leaving an angle. Doesn't want to be off angle on the last ball. Just give herself room to get down. Make the shot on the 8 ball as comfortable as possible.
Looks a little short, but it's just about okay.
Third on the side of having too much rather than too little angle. I think she can just naturally swing the cue ball over a little bit to the left hand side. Plenty of space to work with on that side of the table. Just this 8 ball to get back within 1. Ooh, well I say just this 8 ball, assuming that would be a formality. That's gone all wrong.
And the cue ball. I mean, this is out by miles.
Yeah, somebody says you're going to need to get the cue ball in the pocket. You'd have to miss the putt by a long way to achieve that. And she has missed the pot by a long way.
Well, that is massive. That's bigger than anything we've seen so far in terms of her mistakes. Lucy has got a real chance here to keep her opponent down.
She's a bit despondent at the moment, understandably so. 2-1 down wouldn't have been too much of a problem, but 3-0 having missed that 8 ball, not going to be in mentally the best space. Lucy must be coming into this with a lot of confidence. She beat Harriet Haynes, who in turn had beat Marion Jude. Shows how well Harriet must have been playing in the first place, and then how well, by inference, Lucy must have played to beat her.
She said in an interview that she didn't play brilliantly, but she played well in patches, enough to get the win. This isn't perfect. It really isn't. Just left herself a little bit too much angle on that previous shot. Whichever way she decides to play this, it's certainly not natural.
Does she just take her medicine and accept she's going to have a very long shot, or does she try and get a bit more work on the white and get a bit closer? Well, I was considering going middle first, but that doesn't look like it's going to be an easy positional shot.
Yeah, she's going to have to dig to get the cue ball back to the left-hand side, but you're still going to be up near the centre pocket. Yeah, that's a big, big mistake. That's a bit, for me, it's a bigger mistake than Kirsty Davies, because it's a mistake where you're letting off a great champion. You are letting off one of the best players in the world, and I mean 3-0 with the mistakes that Kirsty had made in all 3 frames would be huge. And it's 2-1. Kirsty missed an 8 ball, but not punished to essentially set the 30 seconds required to win it. Amy missed out by the smallest of margins. Quite a soft break, isn't it? But it's well struck. And the cue ball straight up the middle of the table.
Yeah, there is always this question of whether you're actually sometimes better taking the pace off. A number of players we see putting everything they've got into the pack and not potting anything, and then people just come up sometimes and just focus on cueing the shot and seem to have a better result.
One awkward yellow, one really awkward yellow. I think the 2 together are a little bit awkward as well. But the bottom one will go right centre, it opens it up. They're actually not that far away set from the plant to the corner. The bottom right corner, but obviously the other one's in the way. Well, you can just see there it's not quite on. So some thinking to do here. And I'm not sure she's on anything.
No, I'm not sure quite what she's played for there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, more than not being on anything. What was she trying to be on?
Not even well, I suppose if she stopped shorter, she'd have been on the one that's to the right of the 8 ball, but still had work to do. Even if she pots that ball, could this be a blessing in disguise? Because she's going to be forced to bail out, you assume, from the clearance.
She actually, the way that was set, she might have been able to squeeze a 3 ball plant there. Obviously, we had a look and the 2 were set quite high of the yellow, but playing it from this, here we go. Yeah. Might well have made it, you know. A bit more pace.
That's going to be a foul. Need to make contact with a cushion after you've hit the object ball.
And the foul's huge. Cue ball in hand here. You get yourself short position on the only bad ball and you're away. If Kirsty Lee gets a good contact on her head, gets a cushion, even if she leaves a pot on, she's very much value in the frame still. Now, she has to hope for another big error from Lucy.
Not sure Megan Proctor will be watching this match, because I think she'll want to take a moment to relax after the drama of her 6-red shootout, but were she to be watching, she's not going to mind what she's seeing, 'cause it's been a bit scrappy from both players.
Wouldn't have been a problem if both had gone in there. It sounds strange, but it's not absolutely guaranteed to get nicely on the 8 ball here. One over the bottom right corner isn't the ball you'd really want to. But plenty of room though. Yes, that's why she's taken a few extra seconds here.
Don't blame her for playing for the one in the middle, because she had a chance to land nicely on it, but position off balls over the pocket, as you say, is sometimes harder than you think it will be. Not even sure what you'd say is the completely obvious positional shot to play here. You can make a case for quite a few different options. There's more good things that happen if you get the cue ball right over to the left-hand side than if you get stuck on the right-hand side, but well, that was always going to be the problem if you tried to play high on it.
I think she should have either tried to get to the right side cushion or get to the bottom cushion. That sort of middle of the road made it so much harder, unless you wanted to screw out and cross the line that way. Just very difficult.
Suddenly a clearance that should have been routine. She's left with a double that's very makeable, but not by any means guaranteed. Or a very thin clip, I guess. I think the double was likely to be the preference.
No, it's a brilliant shot. It really is. Beeps ticking down to the wire on the shot clock and calmly knocks in a brilliant double.
Yeah, and it is the calmness of it, because that would have been an annoying position to have found yourself in. It was very self-inflicted that she'd ended up there.
The clock's going to come into play, maybe, depending on how they go from here. But there is still plenty of time for Kirsty. She just won't want to continue with the way this match is going. It needs to spring into life. You felt the break clearance potentially that she could have got on the previous break of hers might have been the catalyst for that, but missing the 8 ball, even though she still won the frame, means she's still not got that positive feeling out there.
These reds set pretty well, so good chance to go searching for that positivity.
A little bit short.
Yeah, she could have done with landing closer to straight on the ball to the top left, then she could have run through and taken out the other one at the top of the table. Natural position to come down.
Could have done with being, yeah, no, straight would have worked. A roll short of straight or 2 or 3 rolls past straight would have been fine, but this far short makes things really tricky.
That's not to say she won't get it, but she's going to have to go the long way.
Yeah, does it make getting onto the 8 ball potentially trickier? She would love to be, take the 3 at the top of the table. So she wanted to be straight in top left, get on the one top right, one on the centre gets you down the table, and then you're connecting up the 3 in the bottom half with the 8 ball there. That's okay.
That was one of those shots. If it comes out right, it looks like the right shot. If you end up getting the wrong cannon on that red, you query whether it's a shot you need to play. The fact that she's knocked it to the cushion, although it makes the pot harder, at least means she's now got the right angle to get back out. Similar kind of situation, albeit with more space at the bottom of the table. Needs to land on the one on the right-hand side, not too far off straight, with an angle to roll through for the remaining ball to the bottom left. pretty good. That's close enough. A little off straight the wrong way, but she can make this angle. Just loading up with right hand side. That was actually a pretty good place to play that shot from. And now the fact that she's ended up low on this ball makes it a much more natural positional shot to get up for the 8 ball. This is much better, and this is what she wants more of, not just the fact she's winning the frame, but she wants to get more stuff done. First visit, breaking clearances, not get involved in any of the scrappy moments. We saw quite a soft break last time from Lucy. She can stick with the same. Yeah, again, goes for control far more so than power. I don't really blame her though. I mean, she seems to be getting a good split, and there's no real point throwing yourself at it and losing the control.
Makes a ball and gets a good layout. Can't really complain about the break, can you? It isn't a particularly powerful one, but she is striking it well.
I think in the men's game there's almost some element of bravado. People don't like to be seen to be breaking too soft. In the ladies' game that's less of a factor, so she's just going for the most effective option. I feel like both players right now are on the edge of playing really well. Just not quite. There's just glimpses from both of them. You think they've settled down and this is going to turn into clearance after clearance, and then something just seems to happen at the end of frames.
I wonder, does that red that she's above now, is there a gap to the bottom corner? That would be a sneaky little one, because that would be perfect if she's dead straight to the corner, because she could hold and just get that one out of the way. She has to go into the middle. It's a very different proposition.
Yeah, the middle it is, so she's going to have to do a bit more with the white.
Just dispatches it like it's hanging over the pocket.
Yeah, it was a kind of awkward angle that. Played it well, and played it calmly. Just committed to the shot, and now she's in nice shape. Could we see back-to-back 8 ball clearances from the break? That's obviously the standard that both of these players have been playing to get through to this semi-final. And that's the way the women's game's going at the moment. It used to be that there were a handful of players capable of consistently clearing from the break, but it was a relatively small handful. Now the strength in depth is increasing year on year. I think a couple of years ago, if you'd have tried to assemble a 32 player pro field in the ladies' game, you'd have ended up having to put a few people in there that probably shouldn't really and wouldn't really have wanted to be there. Now, so many more good players that are knocking on the door of the top level.
Yeah, there's deep fields now, no doubt about it. Oh, what a response this is from Lucy. Break clearance apiece in the last 2 frames.
Has she got the taste for it? Can she manage a second one in a row? First bit successfully achieved. Ball down. Second bit successfully achieved. Decent layout. Can she manage the third part?
A little bit short, but not the end of the world this time.
Not only is the standard of the women's game improved measurably in the last few years, but I think the quality of play out in the main arena, these players have had far more experience now of playing with the shot clock and under the pressure of the cameras. A few people that looked like they were caught in the headlights a bit when this was first a thing. These players are now looking like they've really got used to and embraced this main match arena. We hear some shouts in the background. A few Pro Series matches going on.
I think that's the Challenger final, actually. Challenger 1 final being streamed on TikTok right now. Modern World. Over mine and your head, I think, Mark, isn't it? Nick Finn on commentary for that one. Oh, as we reference that, it's a poor shot from Kirsty. It really is.
Yeah, and it's poor in a way that she's going to struggle to dig herself back out from, because she hasn't really got any balls at that end of the table to rescue her. Well, she's playing for a very precise angle. If she was hoping to have short position on that ball to pot top left and leave an angle to break out the other ball. Surely going to have to bail out now. Well, I mean, it wasn't going to be easy to play a containing shot, but that's not really contained very much.
Yeah, time for a little bit of control for Lucy Smith. Don't need to get sucked into a counter here. Two reds on the right hand side are awkward. The one on the left hand cushion is awkward, but red's in complete control. Has left the yellow at the top of the table, I think, but that's okay.
Well, looking at the angle she's trying to find, it's not an attractive one. Feels like she can see enough to pot the ball at the top of the table. So thinking about where she's going to play position.
Not entirely sure where this goes. She's had a look at it as a double a few times. I just don't see how that can happen from here. That just shot wasn't on.
I mean, it almost felt you'd have to play for a double kiss, and it wasn't a double kiss you could ever control. Played it in a controlled way. It wasn't like she was smashing that looking to play it off multiple cushions. She just thought she could find a way of manufacturing the angle. Either way, she's surely going to be in trouble now, because Lucy's got attacking options and defensive options aplenty at the table.
Really should make this 5-2 here.
Now she's got the balls completely open. It's obviously going to be attack all the way. 5-2 would be starting to be quite a convincing scoreline. Not one that you're going to defend. There's going to be 16 odd minutes remaining, but very handy lead as we enter the last part of the match. Don't think you should necessarily play this for the corner, but it's absolutely fine. Just run the cue ball through. Big moments these. Not exactly under pressure because she's got a 2-frame lead, but the pressure of knowing just how important the clearance is. Finished a little bit between options here. A more difficult pot on the lower one forwards the easier position. She's going to pot the top one first. She's going to be moving the cue ball around. That was as good as she could do. That's okay. She's got a turn more angle than you'd have chosen, but should be able to keep the cue ball not too far away from the 8 ball.
It's all very calm, isn't it? Very smooth, very poised.
Taking quite a while about this finish as well, which now that she's going to get it, assuming she pots this 8 ball, which she has, is to her advantage, because Kirsty's now got 15 minutes to get 3 or ideally 4 more frames. Even there, taking no chances, keeping everything absolutely still and making sure of the 8 ball. Good moment to add a second. Bit more power that time.
Still another quality strike though, isn't it?
Yeah, she's going to play it more like a shot rather than throwing her arm through, just like you'd play any other power shot. That time it looked like she deliberately hit it harder, which is almost surprising given how much success she'd had with the previous break. Similar result though, nice open split. Not quite the frame for the match. Obviously 7 is the winning post, but a 6-2 lead would be very, very big indeed. I don't know if you'd say her patterns have been entirely conventional. She's played a couple of shots which I'm not sure everyone would have gone the route, but it does feel like she knows where she's going, and that's kind of the key thing.
A player that likes to work the puzzle out and work on touch, work on control, but work on the pattern.
Seen one time foul earlier today, and a few other players have come very close. That's definitely something that's improved. The player's judgment of the shot clock. People are very happy to play on 1 second now. Almost invariably do time it right.
Oh no.
Just trying to make an angle. That wasn't a miss we really saw coming.
That is exactly what Kirsty Davies needed. This match is getting away from her. She needed help. She's got some.
A gift at the right moment. Got to take advantage now, both from a scoreboard perspective and to make Lucy dwell on her error. Couldn't really ask for the balls to be much better for a counter clearance. And if she does get it, 2 frames behind, be plenty of time. That will feel like a much more comfortable proposition.
You can tell that Kirsty is trying to speed up, isn't she? That extra step.
She's never the most precise, is she, with a cue ball. That shot, a lot of players would have managed to leave themselves dead straight. Or she's just potted. She's just happy to just leave any kind of shot. Now she's back in nice shape. Both of the last 2 pots not completely clean. They've gone in off the knuckle, but no one remembers that. It's just whether she can win the frame.
Well, she is going to win the frame. She needed help. She's been given it. She's taken advantage. Back within 2. Missed opportunity for Lucy Smith, and 12:11 left on the clock. Not the best of strikes this time, and a messier layout, but still a very doable layout here. Saying that though, does she have an opening ball? Yellows are not bad. Cue ball in hand, you'd expect to clear up yellows every time. Just the starter is horrible.
And doubly horrible, because if you miss it, you know you're leaving the yellow. Oh, what a shot is that?
Hammered. It actually overhit in the end. What a piece of cueing that is. Oh, untouching ball. That's tough.
I mean, I get the logic of playing it firmly to make sure of the pot, but how hard has she hit that ball? She can clip the one back into the middle, so she can continue.
Okay, so it's trying to get back in line here. Yellow in the middle of the table, actually in slightly awkward spot in terms of connection to the others. I mean, you could go bottom right and left centre, right centre, but you're going to struggle to get on the yellow in the middle then.
Did the right thing there. No point trying to get tentative and hold that. Better to commit to the twice across the table shot.
Might have to move balls here. Yeah, chooses two. Actually, that's worked out really well. That's a really well controlled cannon. The next big thing is really, is there enough room on the 8 ball to take it bottom right? Or does she need to come across and take it left centre? Key is getting a good angle on the last yellow now.
Well, that's a good angle if she does need to take it to the left centre. Maybe even too much angle, but better too much than too little.
Yeah, might end up playing into the red here. Pace could be key here. Where's the 8 ball going to end up? Where's the 8 ball going to end up? It's going to end up dead.
Can she play it along off the red? That would be... Oh, when you look at the overhead from this angle, it looks like the red's not too far from the pocket. I think she may have to try, but from this angle you see just how much distance there is. This is going to be a very tough shot.
Not to be. And now we're in the final 10 minutes, 15 seconds a shot.
Lucy's not going to mind wasting a bit of time here either.
Yeah, it's a good shot. So you already got Kirsty completely locked up.
Anything short of fluking this 8 ball's going to be a bad outcome. Oh, how's she gone all the way around it? And she's knocked out one of the balls that was tighter to the cushion. So now, great chance for Lucy Smith to get 3 frames clear and use a bit of the clock up. It's not quite going to be the end of the match if she gets these, but it's not going to be far off. You know she's going to be taking pretty much the full allocation of time for every one of these balls.
Yeah, this will feel like she's clearing up to win the match.
Will also feel really agonising for Kirsty because it feels like it's happening really slowly and time is being wasted. Obviously Lucy's doing exactly the right thing to take the full allocation. Continuing the analysis, making absolutely sure she's planned the route. Now this is where you do have to get on with it. You can't be wandering around the table too much. She's now she's under real time pressure.
Oh, just about, but no, just okay. For a second I thought she might have snookered herself. Yeah, you can't be doing that.
So just one shot effectively to be played. If she lands nicely on the final red, this match should be over. Ideally she would have come low so that she had a natural angle just to screw up the right hand side. She can still force an angle up the table, but just got to play a bit more of a shot. So this 8-ball for a 3-frame lead, and for all practical purposes for a place in the final, barring some miracle 3-frame spurt from Kirsty Lee.
No issues with the 8-ball, and it is that 3-frame advantage. And she hasn't really delivered those, has she? I mean, it's not been powerful, but it's been good quality and making balls. Well, commentator's curse. First try one.
Doesn't have to rush, but she does have to take the clearance. What she can't afford to do is get into any kind of back and forth. Needs to get this job done in the one visit. Then hope that she gets 2 more chances.
This is far from an easy chance.
Running out of easy balls now. She's got 2 that are in awkward spots.
Brilliant. That's actually opened up the frame in terms of the 2 reds at the top of the table. The one at the middle of the table does still have a pocket. Hard to get to it. Top right. Is there enough room to be able to get onto it? Maybe right centre off the yellow. Well, where's it going, Kirsty?
Looking at playing red off yellow towards the top left-hand corner. Not far off.
Yes. Some effort, but always tracking into problems. And it's a mop-up job here for Lucy Smith to take the match clock out of play and win this one 7 frames to 3.
Nice position this. The clearance will win it, but so will wasting a bit of time. Doesn't have to pot all 7 balls. Those balls have just about fallen into a plant at the top of the table. Not in the perfect spot to play them here, but she can go top left next and then take on that plant. It's been a good performance from Lucy Smith. Not a great performance. I think there's more to come. But she's going to book her place in the final, so she's going to have a chance to deliver more. She's going to be straight back out into this arena. Megan Proctor, her opponent in that final.
A little jabby on that one. Yeah, acknowledges it. It's okay, Lucy. Job is just about done. Just won't feel like it for her. You sweat every moment out there, even though she's in the comfort zone right now.
Yeah, it's very hard to have the situational awareness of exactly where you are in a match versus the match clock when you're out there playing.
That is fabulous, though. Beautiful control.
Now she'll feel a bit more comfortable. This is really just the simple stuff to be done. So this 8-ball for a 7-3 win and a place in tonight's Women's Pro Series final.
In it goes. Lucy Smith gets herself back into a Pro Series final. Kirsty Davies will be kicking herself. Too many missed opportunities. And she did win the last event. She will not be winning this one. We now know our final here on the Women's Pro Series 7. It's Lucy Smith and Megan Proctor. It will not be long before we have it. I'm going to run out there and get a few words with Lucy before the final. Stay with us. Plenty more action on the way here from the Women's Pro Series.